This was the original idea in my little moleskin. As you can see, it is just flat, simple shapes. You let the whole thing dry and then you paint over it in a dark blue or whatever colour you want to choose. Then we take that dried masking fluid off and then we add on these little decorative lines using a pen. Simple as that. But in order for you to fully understand all the negative and positive, I thought we might start by just sketching out a rough plan so that you understand what I'm talking about. I'm going to be using the slightly blue tinted Pebeo masking fluid so that it can show up on camera a little bit better. So that you know where I'm going to apply it, I'm going to use this blue pen to show you exactly what I mean before we start off on the project proper. So there's your sheet of paper, and we are going to apply masking fluid in these areas. See, blue and blue. Hope you get that. And you only need really basic shapes, kind of a rectangle. Everybody knows what teacups or mugs are like. Where I'm using the blue pen is where you'll be putting the masking fluid. This is just a rough plan. After we apply the masking fluid, we let it dry, and then we're going to apply the background here, which is kind of an indigo. So let's get started. I think the shapes are pretty basic, so I'm not going to be drawing an outline in pencil. You might want to. What I would say is do leave a bit of space for these handles, because I didn't when I first did it. Let's dip our brush in that kitchen detergent or washing up liquid. I don't know what you call it in the States. Just going to rub that in. Open up our masking fluid. So the first one has a slightly rounded base. I just want to let you know that it is incredibly hot in my living room where I'm filming this. I'm having to work a little bit faster than I would normally like to. This masking fluid is going to dry so fast. I would slow down. I'm filming a class, but if I do, I'm not going to get the effects that I want. You might find that the masking fluid starts drying on the brush even though you've got washing up liquid on it, and that is something to be mindful of if it's incredibly hot where you are. I know it looks a little bit lumpy, but I just want to make sure that I've not left any gaps. You can see I'm not really deliberating over this at all. It's not meant to be a highly finished piece. We're just testing it out. Especially if you are new to using this medium, please don't stress out over it. And the handle is going to be a little bit angular. There we go. On the plus side, being so hot, this should dry very quickly. So I'm going to leave it there for now. Now this is dry, even this section here where I've applied it a little bit thicker, I'm just making sure that nothing's going to go pear-shaped. So I'm going to mix up indigo, which is this one here. Might be easy if I just took it out. It doesn't have to be overly pigmented, but it has to be quite deep because we want it to contrast against those cups. And what we're going to do is just paint over it like that. So I'm using a fairly big brush. One thing to remember is watercolors will dry a little bit lighter, so you might want to mix up a much darker indigo. And I'm again having to work very fast. It is so hot in here. But it also means this will dry very fast as well. I think I want it to be just that little bit deeper. Might add a tiny bit of Payne's grey as well while we're at it, just to help it along. There we go. And so we have to wait for that to dry, and then we shall be able to peel off that masking fluid and see what happens underneath. Now it is the moment of truth. I'm going to start on this corner here. Oh, some of the paint seems to have come through. Now I think that is because I had a bit of the washing up liquid on the brush, but I don't mind that effect at all. It's very nice. It is very sticky. I've got a feeling it's because the temperature is still very high in the room I'm working in. Getting there, getting there. Fabulous. And what we're going to do now is get our fine liner pen. It doesn't have to be blue, it can be black or whatever, and start making a few decorative marks on these teacups. I think first of all, this top one here, do a little bit of a garland here. I'm just making this up, by the way. I'm not really looking at any reference. Of a rose happening, I think. Maybe a bud. Oh, that looks more like a leaf. It doesn't matter. Maybe little dots in there. Oh, that's very pretty. It's a little bit higgledy-piggledy. Now this one, in my original, I painted it in, and I didn't think it went with the vibe of the piece, so I'm just going to use my fine liner to make these polka dots. Well done for getting to this stage. It's only our first proper project within our challenge, so please take it easy on yourself. Don't have to do anything elaborate, just stick to stripes or polka dots if you want to. Progress and success with masking fluid does take a lot of patience, as you're finding out. I think impatience is often linked to expectations. Maybe you wanted this to happen a little bit faster, but it's taking as long as it takes, and this is going to be a reoccurring theme throughout this challenge. Now let's take the masking tape off. Let's take a closer look at this. You can see the edges are not perfect. They have picked up the brush marks where it hasn't quite caught the paper properly, and in this part here I haven't put the masking fluid properly on that, and so when I painted it over in the indigo it's come through. But I really don't mind some of these effects. I really think it adds to the vibe of this piece. I do wonder if I had chosen maybe like a pink or a grey pen to add some of the line work. That would have made a really nice palette. But overall, I am really, really pleased. I can't wait to see yours.